Hey, welcome back to Sean. Welcome back to HFR. What I currently have is a Phoenix Gold Ti2 2000.1 subwoofer amplifier for car stereo system. Class D amplifier given to me, just asked to check it out to see if it still operates and repair the remote bass and tuning function. There's a remote dial potentiometer for controlling the gain of your bass, but anyways, what I'm currently doing is from a transmission test set, I'm piping a 1 kHz tone into the left input channel over here. No audio going through the right. I'm going to try to power it up using my bench power supply, although I'm not sure this is going to be robust enough for powering this amp. And then for the REM, I'm using 12 volts coming from my signal generator. You can see that set up there. And we're going to see if we can power it up at least and see if we can get some audio outside the other side, to the speakers and take a look at that with the O scope. So the first thing to do is to try and power this up. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to increase current a bit. Now I'm bringing up my voltage. And everything seems to be pretty good thus far. So if I can turn on that REM, let's see if we can trigger it on with the signal generator. All right, now I got that on. Has this thing powered up? Oh, it's not showing blue. I'm not sure if we got it there. There we go. Need to get the ground probe hooked up. So dirt to that. All right, so the amp is powered up. We're drawing a little over 1.6 amp of current. See that voltage drop right there. The amp clicking over, and looks like she's going to power up. So we can now begin to check the outputs and see how it's going to work. So I got my probe set to 10 by here and up on the O scope. 2 volts peak to peak. And we're going to go from positive to negative at one of the speakers just to see if there's anything there. Not seeing anything there. Not seeing anything there. Let me take it out of 1 by. And we'll check again. And I'm not seeing anything. Not seeing anything. Could be because I don't have audio going through the right channel as well. I could try swapping them around and see if that makes a difference. But yeah, let me play around with this for a bit. We'll come back and see what I find out. Okay, so what I did is I increased the output of my transmission test set to positive 4 dBm. Just went ahead and added in a Y splitter for this one RCA input going to the left and right channel. And I dropped my frequency down to 100 hertz, so more in the base level of where this is probably tuned to. And now we can see that we do indeed have an output. So looking at our 100 hertz right there, the output of whichever speaker output this is. Then same right here. Those outputs don't look too bad, so most likely this amp is just fine. So I'm going to do a bit of cleaning up, get it presentable and clean. Need be, I might go over some traces and take a look at them. If there's any solder or anything like that that needs to be taken care of, I'll take care of it as well. And what else is there? Oh yeah, that remote thing, I'll get it repaired too. Okay, quite a bit of cleaning up and everything. A little bit of corrosion and resoldering of some surface mounted devices over here. But we're going to give it the final test. So it's time to power it up again. And this time we're going to check both channel outputs for both speakers with an 80 hertz signal coming in at probably 3 dB. But the first thing we got to do is power it up and make sure that it still powers up perfectly fine. Like I said, this thing, I mean, it was in very bad shape. That being said, if you're wanting to know what cleaning compound I use other than QD cleaner and rubbing alcohol, Simple Green, this is phenomenal stuff. Highly recommend it. Economical and versatile. It's very safe cleaner, and it's okay to use on electronics, in my opinion. Maybe not some things, you don't want to drench your components in it, but cleaning your PCB and stuff like that, never had an issue. As a matter of fact, we use it quite often on the job for cleaning our surface areas that we work on. But anyways, let's see, we got DC connected, so I just need to turn on the REM and we'll see if it will kickstart like it did before. Here we go. Light was blue, but it didn't stay blue that time. Let's try this again. Okay, so yeah, it was just my cables over here on the right that weren't too well. Well, I've got both audio channels set the exact same way. We're drawing about 1.8 amps from the power supply. At 80 hertz signal is coming through at 3 dB, so I'm going to increase this potentiometer here, or decrease it. That seems to be working. So, what if I increase the level input a bit? Put it up to about 6 dB. And I'll drop my volts per division down a bit. Trying to trigger these in a way that it will stay still. There we go. We've got pretty much equal amplitude on each. And bass adjust is working just fine. Now again, this is all, for the most part, I'm not really driving this amplifier too significantly hard. This is just a steady tone coming through. And we can see as I increase the audio at the input, that also increases our waveform throughout. The max I can go with my transmission test set is about 13 dB. I suppose if I was using my SIGGEN and increasing the amplitude there, I probably need to get myself 2 benchtop power supplies, so I'm not using my SIGGENs for the REM DC input, but I'm going to let this run for a bit. The audio doesn't appear to be clipping at 80 hertz. Wonder if we step up, if we get change. There we go. At 90 hertz now. That's 100 hertz. You can see the attenuation is happening as we increase the audio frequency. This thing is tuned for lower frequencies. Go down to 60 hertz at 13 dB input. And we're getting about, what do we have there? About 25 volts peak to peak. There you go. I go below that, 50, 40. I have to change my probes from 1 by to 10 by. And we'll have to do the same thing on the menu here. And they're both roughly 64 volts peak to peak. So this looks really good to me. I don't think there's going to be any issues from the amp, at least none that I can produce from my bench. So I'm happy to call the customer back up and get this equipment back to him. Well, something that just crossed my mind that we could also check. The base adjust potentiometer is here, so this should have an effect on our amplitude. See if it does. Yep, definitely does. So that's working. Now our phase, I'd actually need to get rid of one of our input signal, one of our output signals for a second. To sort these leads out by any means, so I got to be careful here. But there, over here. Let's see if this reach all the way over here. Let's see if we can check our input audio. Trying to get these leads to really stretch. Here's going to be our input audio. And that don't look too good, but that could be because I need to swap it back to 1 by over. And well, that tells me that my Tim's has a very hard time producing a nice sine wave at 13 dB. So we're going to drop that down. See, that's 9 dB. Still at 40 hertz. All right. So right now, I mean, we're a bit out of phase with our output. So I'm looking at the input and I'm looking at the output. Channel 2, the purple is the input. Channel 1 is the output. And let's see if this actually phase shifts. See if we can get the output in phase. There we go. Yep. That definitely shifts the phase of our input signal. So I guess we could call that good. I think you would, I don't know, would you want it in phase or not necessarily out of phase? Or maybe it looks like the input shifting. That's really not it. It's the output signal that's technically shifting. But right there, they are in phase. See, the crossover should be what affects the audio frequency that's allowed through. So right now it's all the way counterclockwise, right? As I go clockwise, you can see that the output is amplifying more because I'm allowing more of the audio through. So for instance, let's say we go up to 100 hertz. See right now how my output is lower than my input. Oh, let's change that low pass filter. And now we're allowing that 100 hertz signal in to be amplified. So I'm going to step this down to 80. And where our amplitude is the same here, that should technically mean that our low pass filter is allowing the same signal through, but hopefully not too much above it. Let's see, what voltage are they at? 40. Well, the voltage isn't going to matter so much, but that's all the way clockwise. Pump it up to 100. That's 130. Definitely coming down there. That's 100. That's 110, 100. Attenuated there. With 80, it seems to be increasing perfectly. Nice healthy output. So that's probably where you could be, right around 80 hertz right there on our low pass filter, that crossover. There's also a subsonic synth setting. Subsonic probably going to amplify the output even more. I'm not too sure, but it is having an effect, but it's ultimately just seems to be with the phase. I'd have to read the instructions on what the subsonic is actually for, but definitely appears to be doing something. Anyways, I mean, again, everything appears to be working perfectly fine there. So I am happy to give the customer a call. I mean, it's running fine to me. It's amplifying fine. I'm not seeing anything out of characteristic for an amp. So all that being said, I guess this is the closure to this video for whatever it is. Really nothing to repair. Just going over an amplifier, testing it, making sure that it's functioning as it should. Didn't see a need to replace any components. We got a decent output. Did a small repair on this little bass adjust cable over here, and it's working just fine. Tested the controls, and all seems to be good to go. So if you've enjoyed this video and you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing for more content like this. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and give me some comments down in the comment section. Enjoy reading your comments, etc. Again, I operate Having Fun Repairs as a business here in the state of Oklahoma. So if you have an amplifier that's in need of a service or need of repair, let me know. You can definitely check it out, and we can work on it. All that information for the business side of things is down in the description, the doobly-doo below. If you're interested in learning about electronics, I do teach electronics principles and fundamentals of electrical engineering over on my Patreon. Those videos typically do not come over to YouTube, but we've got an ongoing series right now. We just finished up DC fundamentals. We're now on to AC fundamentals. And I also teach test equipment type stuff as well. But that being said, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time. Take care and goodbye.
Mark?